topic, the platform. Thank you very much, Rowan. So, when we put WebEx and Spark together, it's not just a rebrand. There's a ton of technology and architecture that's gone in actually bring these platforms together. And I'm going to share with you 5 examples of many, actually, of some of the things that are real customer benefits that come as a result of it. And these are the new meetings backbone, new control hub innovations, multi-company collaboration, the WebEx graph, and video mesh. Ooh, sounds good. So let's get right into it. First, the WebEx backbone. WebEx meeting quality is always top-notch, and with this platform convergence, it's now going to get a lot better. So you've heard us talk about this a little bit here. The WebEx backbone is literally a worldwide IP network. This is an example graph, by the way, like for marketing purposes, not actually the topology, so just relax on that. But it's exemplary of what we have for the WebEx backbone IP network. We've been building it over 10 years. And it's engineered for one thing, great video quality. Because you know what? It takes a great network to deliver great video quality, and we know networks. So the WebEx backbone has been set up with the right quality of service configurations. It's got the right topology. It's got the right capacity, right, for massive video worldwide to bring video from your users and their desktops and their video devices to our cloud to deliver a great meeting experience. And so when we brought together Spark and WebEx, what we've done now is we've interconnected the WebEx backbone with all of the public cloud providers where we were hosting additional meeting services that were formerly powering just the Spark application. And we did that with these new private peering links we've been setting up over the last year. So when we do that, what happens is we bring together the benefits of all these things. We get the elasticity now of the public cloud, allowing us to scale demand as needed even faster than ever. We get the benefits of our own private data centers for optimal costs and great quality. And all of it interconnected by this worldwide IP network that brings great quality. And so what's the concrete benefit for customers is, first and foremost, when you join a WebEx meeting, it's going to hop off the public internet as soon as possible. You want to minimize your time on public IP and get to this video engineered backbone to bring you to our media processing and meeting software all over the world, now across public and private data centers. So quality, number one. And second, and it's a security thing, but again, I'm really excited about this. It's going to satisfy a long-standing ask that we've had from our customers around Spark, which is, can you please give me a set of IP addresses I can configure into my firewall to allow my meeting traffic to traverse? With the WebEx backbone now, there's a single IP range that supports all WebEx meetings, whether you join them from WebEx Teams, WebEx meetings, or our video systems that you can configure into your firewall. So better security is thing number 2. So that's the WebEx backbone, concrete work we've done to converge these platforms. The second is Control Hub. Control Hub was originally our management portal just for Cisco Spark, and when we brought WebEx and Spark together, we now are using the Control Hub as the primary management interface for all of WebEx, including WebEx Meetings and WebEx Teams. And we've been focused especially on analytics for WebEx with some amazing new capabilities. So let me jump right in, actually, and if we pop back, and I'm going to show you a live demo of that integration. So I'm going to go here, and if we bring up my computer on the screen, please. We're going to jump right into the Control Hub. And so this is the Control Hub for WebEx, both Teams and Meetings. And I'm in the Reports section focused on WebEx Meetings. And you can see that I've got engagement, quality, and audio, and I'm here on the engagement page. And as an administrator, this gives you a complete summary of everything that's happening in your system. You've got the total number of meetings, total number of minutes. You've got actually meeting-by-meeting details here at the bottom, if you want to view that. So at a glance, visualization on everything. Now, where I want to focus is actually on quality. It's one of the things that many of our administrators tell us is, help me manage and troubleshoot problems that happen. And this is where this analytics is really mind-blowing and awesome. So here's our sort of summary of quality, and on a weekly basis. And you can see here that most days it's sort of the red are bad meetings. This particular day here, something was wrong. There was like almost 2 to 3 times the number of bad meetings. So as an administrator, how do I figure out what the problem is? Well, what I can do now with this amazing analytics is I can click on that, just a second, can I get this to scroll up to the top? I can click on that guy, and it zooms in on just that day. And when it zooms in on that day, it's not just this graph. Every other graph on the page zooms in, which allows me to get some insight. So now for this day, I can look at it. Okay, well, let's see, the call quality, the join time is pretty good. So it's not join time, that's not the problem. The TCP-UDP mix seems about right, but look at locations. something is interesting here. One of these locations in particular is really, really bad. So what I can do is I can further zoom in on this and add another filter that says just look at these particular locations. So every other graph is zoomed in now. So the quality bar shows me just this one day, just this one location. I can see I've got all these bad meetings. If I scroll down further, I can actually now get a list of the individual meetings on that day in that location that were bad. And what I see is there's different meeting names, there's different usernames. So this tells me it wasn't a specific meeting, it wasn't a specific device. They're all in Australia, however. So as administrator, probably my problem is some kind of bad connection from my campus to Australia. So amazing insights with this incredible filtering and click-through view of WebEx reporting built into Control Hub. So isn't that great? I just geek out on this stuff. Thank you very much. New Control Hub powering both WebEx meetings and Teams. Now, the next benefit I want to take you through the Converge platform is a little bit specific to WebEx Teams, but it's focused on collaboration with people in other companies, right? And our approach here with WebEx Teams is actually dramatically different than the competition, and also, by the way, way more secure. So I want to go and explain this to you a little bit here. So let's take a look at the competition, right, and what other people making Teams-based applications are doing. So let's say we've got 3 different companies, and each of them is running one of these team-based collaboration applications from a competitor. Each of the companies is going to have a unique instance of the service in the cloud that they're using, and they're going to have their users provisioned into it with their usernames and passwords and so on and so forth. And this is sort of makes sense, and everyone has this kind of thing, and that's great. Now what happens in these other products if someone from company B wants to collaborate with colleagues from company A and company C? What do they have to do? Well, let me talk you through this, just so we're totally clear. All these people have a feature called guest accounts. So these end users are going to have to decide amongst themselves which of the companies is going to host this collaboration. So they chat and decide company B. Company B user goes to their administrator and says, Mr. Administrator, can you set me up some guest accounts? They send an email to the administrator. Administrator gets the email, opens the email at some point, goes and creates a bunch of guest accounts for users A and C. Creates usernames and passwords, emails those usernames and passwords back to the employee in company B, who takes those usernames and passwords and emails them once again to their colleagues in companies A and C. They open the email, they go to their team collaboration app, they log out of their current username and password, which is connected to their own companies, log in with the guest accounts they've just created, create a collaborative space, and yay! A week later, they're having a conversation, okay? We don't think that's very good. It feels sort of like 1997. But it only gets worse from there, because what's happened in the process is the administrator in company B has created new guest accounts for these users in companies A and C, right? So now these users in A and C, they have 2 accounts. They have their main account and now a guest account with a totally different username and password. It's not using their company SSO, it's not using their company security policy. So this is a security challenge in a really big way. They're not using approved passwords at all. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is it gets way worse from there. If you think about it for a moment, when those users participate in collaborative spaces inside their own companies, their compliance teams are able to make sure they don't share confidential information with users they're not supposed to. But when those employees are participating in this collaborative space hosted in company B's instance, right, companies A's and C, they can't get access to any information at all. So if an employee in company A accidentally or perhaps maliciously shares sensitive, confidential information to someone in company B, this cannot be detected. This cannot be remediated. This, my friends, is how confidential information gets in the wrong hands. Guest accounts are actually a massive security risk. And so we knew if we wanted to bring team collaboration to the masses and actually make it secure, we needed something way, way different. And so we did that. By contrast, Cisco WebEx has a single instance. That means every single user has a single account. There are no guest accounts. We don't need them. It's kind of like Twitter, right? There's no guest accounts in Twitter. If you want to follow someone in a different country, you don't like get a guest account in that country and follow them. You can get their Twitter handle and you follow them, right? It's a single instance for Twitter that connects everyone in the world, each with a single account. And that's exactly how Cisco WebEx works for Teams as well. And thus this solves the problem. Any user can collaborate with any other user, and they don't have to ask their IT guys permission to do that. They can just set up the collaborative space and use it, right? All of them without waiting. Dramatically simpler experience, but much more importantly, way more secure. If a user accidentally or maliciously shares confidential information anywhere, inside the company, outside the company, to their parents, whoever it is that they're working with in this application, this can be detected and it can be remediated. That makes it way, way more secure. So let me sort of talk you through an example of like how this would work visually here. So again, let's simplify it now. Let's say we have company A and company B, and there's this compliance rule that Project Titan is not allowed to be shared externally. That's company B's policy. My employees can't say Project Titan, super secret, right? So there's a collaborative space between users in A and B. A user A employees, asks about Titan. They don't know anything about it, right? That's fine. They're an external person. But in this collaborative space, the user from company B says, oh, let me tell you about Project Titan. We're launching it. It's going to be this price and launch in 3 days. That's a big no-no. So automatically now, this can plug into systems that look for keywords, find and identify confidential terms that are not supposed to be said, and automatically go and remove that offending message in this collaborative workspace. And it actually allows all the companies participating in this collaborative workspace to apply their own policies. As a result, producing the world's first multi-company collaborative workspace that fully supports secure compliance to prevent the leakage of confidential information. And we have been working on this for a very long time. We are super excited about it. What do you think? Right? So the next thing I want to talk to you about is about how unifying WebEx and Spark allows us to deliver something really new and exciting called the WebEx Graph. What is the WebEx Graph? The WebEx Graph is a data model that encapsulates all the objects in the system, whether it's people, meetings, devices, messages, spaces. Every one of these things is in the system with all these connections between them. And as users use WebEx, all their interactions add more data to the system, more messages, more meetings, more files shared, more devices registered. Every one of them creates new content in this graph. So that sounds kind of geeky. Why do you care? Well, two big reasons. First, internally then, the WebEx Graph powers knowledge and decision making on things that happen in the system. For example, today, when you search for someone in the WebEx Teams application, so if I type in Alice, the system accesses the WebEx Graph and figures out that the Alice I mean is probably the one I'm already in all these spaces with and chatted with most recently. So we use it to make the system smart, intuitive, understand who I really mean. The second benefit is that we can expose the WebEx Graph via APIs to allow developers to do new and innovative things. For example, HR can go and build an app that traverses this graph to look for super connectors, those people in an organization who are the primary conduits for knowledge and connectivity, and make sure those people are taken care of in the organization. Your HR departments would love to see something like that built. And by combining Spark and WebEx, we now allow ourselves to take the data and the knowledge across all of WebEx and all of Spark and bring them together in a unified graph that will be even smarter and better than ever. Now, some of the WebEx Graph is available today. For example, from the developer portal, you can access people and devices. And over time, we'll be adding more and more API endpoints and adding more and more intelligence to our existing products using the WebEx Graph. In fact, you'll see a little bit of a demo with that shortly. So that is the WebEx Graph, and I'm pleased to talk about that. The final new feature of this converged platform is called Video Mesh. And this is a new name for what we used to call hybrid media services. And it's a new name because it became even more powerful with the convergence of these platforms. So let me make sure you understand the problem we're trying to solve here, because it's a really big one, and it's one I'm really passionate about. If we want to deliver pervasive, amazing video, where you see images like this in every meeting you have, the technology needs to provide incredible quality, amazing scale, so every meeting can look like that, and at an affordable price. That combo has historically been impossible to achieve. So impossible, it has literally fragmented the video market into two completely different segments, premise and cloud. And premise video is great at quality, right? You install these servers, you manage them, you have great managed and IP network for it, you have perfect video, but it was hard to scale and it was definitely high cost. Cloud brings the scale and cost to the table, but because you still ultimately have the public internet here, sometimes it doesn't work perfectly, and you have extra latency going from your campus to the cloud. So neither of these technologies fully solves the problem. So we knew that we needed something new, something unique, something literally revolutionary that literally redefines the boundaries of the video conferencing market. And so we created Cisco's Video Mesh. How does it work at a high level? This meeting is supported by a combination of media processing nodes, sort of meeting server software that lives in your data centers, combined with ones that operate in our cloud. And so when a user wants to go and join a meeting, the systems automatically find the nearest node, whether that's on campus or in our cloud, and connect to it for the same meeting. And then our cloud coordinates between all these media nodes and stitches them together so that from the user's perspective, it's a single meeting with the optimal topology for delivering the meeting. And this is essential for delivering great video quality. And so when we do it, what are the benefits? Frankly, they're unprecedented. The biggest one is this coverage thing. You can deploy these media nodes in your large campuses and get great on-prem managed IP quality on your remote offices, augment that with our cloud, and in concert, the two of them provide the optimal media quality at the optimal price. You get the benefits of overflow. So another common problem with video is capacity planning. You have to build out enough hardware for the worst case busy hour. That problem is gone. We've just wiped that problem away. Now, you can build out as much or as little capacity in any location. Run out of horsepower because it's a busy meeting, busy time, it automatically overflows to the cloud, augmenting your premise deployment with our cloud capacity. The meeting will always happen. There will never be a busy signal. No one else has anything like this, right? Of course, when a user lands on a premise node, they get great quality and reliability because it's on a managed IP network, and nothing beats that. How big can you scale it? How many servers can I have in a cluster? Is it 5 or is it 10? We can't count that high. It's infinitely large, right? This is cloud technology. Normally this would be hard to manage, not here. These are cloud connected nodes. You literally log in and adopt them. No configuration, no provisioning, no software upgrade management. It's completely self-upgrading with zero downtime. It's cloud, just in your closet, all right? Finally, the entire thing is totally invisible to end users. They just join meetings like I've been doing and it just works. So it's incredible technology, and the big capability now with the platform convergence is that video mesh will support joining WebEx meetings. All those WebEx meetings on the Teams application are great video inputs. So this makes it dramatically more powerful and useful as a tool with WebEx meetings. So super excited about this one. Rowan, back to you.